Let me tell you something real. Something that may shake you to your core. You want to know who someone truly is? Walk away. That's right. Walk away when they no longer need something from you. Walk away when you're no longer making their life convenient. Walk away, not out of anger, not out of spite, but out of truth. And watch, because what happens next will tell you everything you need to know. People wear masks every day. Masks of kindness, masks of loyalty, masks of love. But masks fall off the minute you're no longer useful to them. And I know this isn't what we want to hear. We want to believe that every smile is sincere, that every "I've got your back" means forever. But this world isn't built on fantasies, it's built on truth. And sometimes the truth only reveals itself in absence. You see, when you're constantly showing up for people, when you're always giving, always calling, always caring, you create a version of yourself that they depend on. But dependency is not the same as love. Loyalty only matters when it's tested. Character only matters when it's challenged. And integrity, it's only proven when you walk away. Now, this doesn't mean you become cold. It doesn't mean you harden your heart. It means you respect yourself enough to stop pouring your soul into empty buckets. Because here's the deeper truth. We are not just discovering who they are when we walk away. We are discovering who we are without them. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." You want to know why you keep attracting the same people? Why betrayal feels like a loop? Because deep down you haven't examined the unconscious need to be needed. You haven't questioned the part of you that keeps giving, hoping it will make them stay. But listen, your worth is not in your usefulness. Let me say that, again, your worth is not in your usefulness. If someone changes when you walk away, they never loved you. They loved what you did for them. And if that truth stings, it should. Because pain is a teacher. And right now, it's teaching you this. You don't lose people when you walk away. You lose illusions. And when the illusion fades, the real person steps into the light. That's the moment when you stop chasing closure. You stop begging for validation. You stop asking why they switched up when you finally chose you. Because people will show their truth, not when they're gaining from you, but when they're losing access to you. And when that moment comes, when you walk away and the silence reveals everything, don't run back. Don't go looking for old comfort in familiar chaos. Instead, stand still. Let the truth settle. Let their absence echo. And remember this. You don't need to explain your boundaries. You don't need to justify your peace. You're allowed to walk away from anything that disturbs your clarity. You're allowed to detach from people who only held you close when it served them. You are allowed to love yourself more than their approval. And trust me, when you choose to walk away from anything that costs you your peace, you're not being selfish. You're being free. Keynote 1. People reveal their true nature in your absence, not in your presence. There's a harsh but liberating truth about human relationships. Who people really are doesn't show up when you're doing everything for them. It shows up when you stop. When you're always showing up for someone, calling them, texting them, driving across town for them, fixing their messes, they begin to see your presence not as a gift, but as a given. It's human nature. What is consistent becomes expected, and what is expected is taken for granted. So what happens when you walk away? Silence, confusion. And then, the mask slips. This is where the true revelation begins, because the energy you once gave them is now missing. The validation you once provided is gone, and the space you once filled is empty. That emptiness becomes a mirror, one that reflects the real motivations of others. Some people will chase you, not out of love but out of entitlement. Some will resent you, not because you harmed them, but because you stopped serving their comfort. And others? They'll simply disappear, because without your energy, their interest evaporates. This is the painful wake-up call. Because until you remove yourself, you often can't see the transactional nature of some relationships. Carl Jung said, "People will do anything, no matter how absurd, in order to avoid facing their own soul. You walking away forces them to face theirs. And what you'll often discover is that some people weren't in love with you. They were in love with the idea of you, the convenience, the security, the presence. When you stop playing your role in their life script, you discover whether they ever truly valued the actor or just needed the performance. Now, here's where this truth becomes transformational. It doesn't just show you who they are, it shows you who you've become. Because we often stay in roles we've outgrown. We stay because we're afraid of what the silence might say. We keep pouring, hoping they'll finally see our worth. But self-worth isn't proven through overextension. It's revealed through self-respect. So when you choose to walk away, it's not a gesture of abandonment. It's an act of alignment. You're aligning with your boundaries. You're aligning with your mental peace. You're aligning with the version of yourself that's no longer willing to be emotionally starved for the sake of someone else's comfort. And what happens next is critical. Some people will get angry because you broke the silent agreement. They take, you give. You change the script. You flip the narrative. And when you do that, don't expect applause. Expect resistance. Because people don't resist when you're weak. They resist when you finally get strong. Think about it like this. The moment you walk away, you introduce uncertainty into a dynamic that was once predictable, and uncertainty reveals truth. It reveals whether their presence was rooted in love or dependency. It reveals whether their kindness was genuine or transactional. It reveals whether their loyalty was real or rented. Now here's the deeper psychology behind it. Humans are wired to avoid discomfort. We seek predictability. And relationships become rituals, emotional patterns we repeat, whether they serve us or not. When you break that pattern by stepping back, you create space. And in that space, truth bubbles to the surface. What happens in your absence tells you more than 100 words ever could. Because when you walk away, you're not being passive, you're being powerful. You're creating the opportunity for real character to show up. True friends will check on you even when you've gone quiet. True partners will reach out, not to accuse you of changing, but to understand your needs. True family will love you even when you draw a line. But those who vanish, who guilt trip, who lash out, they were never with you. They were with the benefits of you. And this is the hard part. Walking away doesn't just show you who they are. It forces you to reevaluate you. It shows you where you've been settling. It shows you where you've been pleasing to avoid rejection. It shows you where you've betrayed yourself to be liked. That kind of reflection is painful, but it's powerful. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. You wake up. You realize that you've been trading your time, your energy, your emotional availability for breadcrumbs of attention. And that's not love. That's not friendship. That's not connection. That's survival. And you weren't born to survive relationships. You were born to thrive in them. So what now? You honor the silence. You let the dust settle. You watch. Don't text first. Don't explain your worth. Don't beg for loyalty. Just observe, because observation is clarity. And in that clarity, you'll know what to do next. Keynote 2. Loyalty is proved in your absence, not your presence. It's easy to be loyal when things are good, It's easy to promise forever when the road is smooth, the rewards are flowing, and the relationship is feeding their ego. But loyalty, that sacred, unshakable loyalty, isn't measured in comfort. It's revealed in contrast. Want to see who's really loyal? Disappear for a while. Stop showing up the way you used to. Go silent. Take your energy back. And then pay close attention to what happens next. Loyalty is not about who stands beside you when it's convenient. It's about who stays when it's inconvenient. It's about who still chooses you when you're not easy to love, when you're broken, when you're distant, when you're working on yourself and not available to cater to their needs. That's the real test. Because fake loyalty thrives in consistency. It thrives when they're getting something out of you. But when you remove yourself, when your value no longer comes in the form of actions they benefit from, they're forced to confront the raw reality of who they are without you. Are they still there? Are they checking in? Are they defending your name when you're not around? Or are they shifting stories, aligning with new people, rewriting your value? The moment you pause, the moment you take a breath and look around, you begin to see who was only clapping when you were dancing for them. It's humbling, sometimes heartbreaking, but it's necessary, because loyalty isn't something you teach. It's something people choose. And when someone chooses to stay loyal even when they could walk away, when they stand with you in your absence, not just your performance, that's gold. But most won't. Most will walk out the same door you once opened for them. And you know what? That's okay, because loyalty that only survives in your presence is not loyalty. It's codependency. Let's get deeper. There's a subconscious contract we sign in relationships. I'll show up for you if you show up for me. But sometimes that contract gets twisted into, I'll show up for you only as long as you keep giving me what I want. That's not love, that's business. And when the transactions stop, the interest fades. That's not your fault, that's their programming. But what you do next, that's on you. Don't chase people to prove your worth. Don't explain your silence. Don't fight to convince someone to stay. Loyalty can't be begged. It can only be witnessed. If they vanish when you walk away, they were never anchored to you. They were tethered to what you provided. That's not your tribe. That's not your person. You deserve loyalty that's quiet, that doesn't need attention, that exists in the spaces between conversations, that shows up in the dark when no one's watching. Real loyalty is rare, but it exists, and you'll only find it when you stop handing out your energy like samples at a store. You'll only find it when you stop being afraid of walking alone. You'll only find it when you understand that your worth isn't tied to who stays. It's anchored in your ability to let go. So let go. Let go of the need to be validated by consistency. Let go of the illusion that time equals loyalty. Let go of the idea that someone sticking around automatically means they care. Because real loyalty stands even when the stage is empty. Real loyalty checks on you when you have nothing to give. Real loyalty doesn't flinch when you fall. So if you want to know who's real, don't look at who celebrates you when you're rising. Look at who covers you when you're breaking. That's the kind of loyalty you deserve. And it's the kind of loyalty that only reveals itself when you walk away.